What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Fireside Giants. I'm your host, Anthony Rivardo, and today we're going to be breaking down some more All-22 film, looking at Marcus Mbow as he made his regular season debut, filling in at left tackle for James Hudson after he was rightfully benched after the worst drive that I've ever seen from an individual player. So we're going to go ahead and react to it, kind of break down what we saw from Marcus Mbow. It was a solid outing, and so we have a few clips to run through. Shout out to Nick Filato on Twitter for posting these All-22 clips and cutting them up together. There's a lot to like, and we're going to go ahead and waste no more time and just break down the film. I'm actually going to start this film off with a negative play. Now, he had a positive day, more good than bad in my opinion, but I just want to show the good with the bad and kind of try and demonstrate here that while it was an impressive debut performance for the rookie, there are still going to be some growing pains. And there were some areas that he could improve upon in this first game. So let's roll through this clip here. The Giants are going to hand it off to Cam Skattebo up the middle, and they're going to try and go up this gap right here with Cam Skattebo. So you wouldn't expect Marcus Mbow to be super involved in this play, but they're actually running what's called a duo blocking scheme on this left side. As you saw, Marcus Mbow snapped out of his stance and then immediately jumped so that he could double team number 95. That's the duo aspect of this. And then, of course, this you're going to see the left guard Jon Runyan try and clear to the second level, and Mbow is going to be left one-on-one with number 95 here, and he's not going to do a great job holding his ground. He's going to get taken out of the play or into the play, brought into the play, pulled across the line, and he's going to surrender a tackle there for number 95 of the Cowboys, and Cam Skattebo is not going to get much. So this is one of those inside handoff plays where Giants fans are like, oh, the interior of our offensive line sucks, and honestly, you're not wrong. Greg Van Roten kind of gets worked there at the end too. But John Michael Schmitz does get a good block in there on 97. Jon Runyan Jr. gets to the second level, and it's actually the left tackle, Marcus Mbow, who surrenders this tackle on Cam Skattebo. So just demonstrating play strength needs to be improved if he's going to be a regular starter in the lineup for the Giants. Then we'll take a look at this next play, which I actually think you see a lot of good and bad on the same rep here. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. Let's start the clip. And he fires out of his stance. I think he comes out of his stance quite nicely. He's pretty fast here, gets into position. But as you can see, he kind of overstepped in his kick slide here and then ended up giving number 54, this edge rusher, a path towards the inside. So now he's a little bit off balance, and he's going to have to try and re-get his center of balance and move back towards the inside and take that lane away, because that's where this edge rusher is clearly going to go after he overstepped. But watch the recovery here. We always do these breakdowns and mention whoever gets their hands on the other lineman first, whether it's defense on the offense or offense on the defense, whichever lineman engages first usually wins the rep. But that's not going to be the case here. Cowboys number 95 actually engages first. You can see he's got control on Marcus Mbow, hands on his chest, but Mbow is going to win this rep anyway. So again, you're seeing a little bit of good and bad. Late hands doesn't engage first, but still winds up winning the rep. Let's see how that happens. So he's going to end up fighting really hard here, and it's really going to come down to his anchor. Watch his feet. He digs that left foot back, and that's going to allow him to regain his balance. He's also turning his hips with the offensive line or the defensive lineman and trying to wall him off and keep Russell Wilson's blind side protected, and he does a tremendous job. He gets a little bit of help there from Tyrone Tracy Jr., but really not much. He's already won the rep by the time Tracy gets involved. So again, oversteps. Now he's off balance, but then he gets his hand. You see that right hand right underneath the armpit of this defensive lineman, and then he twists his hips and gets real low. Look at the low center of gravity that allows him to anchor here. So a little bit of a play strength flaw on the first play in run blocking, and then you see a positive in his play strength on this one as he anchors with that low center of gravity here and makes up for a little bit of a fault at the beginning of the rep here. So great rep in pass protection, and it's going to lead to a short gain to Theo Johnson, but again, just a really good rep from the rookie offensive tackle. And then this next play is going to be another positive, a solid run blocking rep here for Marcus Mbow. He's going to get some help as the Giants are in 12 personnel. They've got the two tight ends over the left side of Marcus Mbow's shoulder, and he's going to get into a double team block here with, I believe that's Chris Manhertz. What the Giants are going to run is a counter toss to this left side with Marcus Mbow as one of the lead blockers out in front, of course, with the double team block there. It's counter toss, though, because you're going to see Russell Wilson go over his right shoulder like he's handing it to this side, but then he's going to pitch it that way. So good execution here from Russell Wilson as well on the counter. And then you're going to see Cam Skattebo rumble and stumble forward. But watch Marcus Mbow. As you see, he fires out of his stance really fast. And now he's going to try and get onto this double team block here, number 53. He engages and he moves. Look at him move out of the way and create some space there for Cam Scatterbo. So a pretty solid run blocking rep. Really like that design on that run play too, as they're getting John Michael Schmitz quickly up to the second level. Look at John Runyon doing an excellent job walling off this defender after allowing him through intentionally, might I add. And then Scatterbo is going to follow his blocks here with Marcus Mbow and Chris Manhertz leading it out in front. So really nice design on this run play and good execution here from Marcus Mbow. All right, on this next play, we're going back and forth, negative, positive, positive, negative. We're doing that kind of style here and pattern with this breakdown, but this is going to be one of those negatives. You're going to see the Cowboys run a stunt here, and there's going to be a little bit of a miscommunication between John Runyon and Marcus Mbow. Marcus Mbow is not going to pick up this stunt properly. John Runyon does his job and passes along this pass rusher to Marcus Mbow. Marcus Mbow doesn't recognize it, and then this pass rusher is going to get through. So let's watch how this breaks down. And again, so number 13 is immediately going to go right after John Runyon. But as you see, he started leaning out this way. Marcus Mbow is focused one-on-one blocking here with number 95, this edge rusher. And John Runyon's going to recognize, oh, okay, he's going outside because this is a stunt. Number 95 has begun to move to the inside and execute the stunt as well. I will point out, though, Tyrone Tracy Jr. is ready for it as extra protection. But Marcus Mbow is not going to recognize that John Runyon is passing this one off to him. He's going to stay engaged on 95, and then 95 is going to be able to break through here as a result. And actually, it's more of number 13 breaking through. Marcus Mbow doesn't recognize there's a stunt, stays engaged with 95, and 13 is going to slip right through the cracks between these two. So just a little bit of a pressure surrendered there. I wouldn't really give full blame to Marcus Mbow, but I think just a miscommunication here between him and John Runyon, not necessarily highlighting anything that Mbow did wrong, a miscommunication, but highlighting, hey, new rookie offensive tackle in the game. Sometimes these miscommunications are going to happen as a result of the lack of experience and a lack of playing time together between the left tackle and the left guard. So just something to take note of as we move ahead to next week versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Another positive on this play, Marcus Mbow is going to stonewall this pass rusher. He's in the three-point stance as the Giants are in this 12 personnel package. They're trying to show that they're running against this loaded box. You've got the 4 down linemen, then you've got the 3 linebackers, 2 linebackers plus a safety in the box. So they've got a 7-man box, Dallas does, and the Giants have a big front up here with all of these extra tight ends in the game. So they're trying to show run, but this is going to be a play action pass here, play action from Russell Wilson. He's actually going to end up dumping this to Tracy, who has a really bad drop here, but keeping an eye on Marcus Mbow. Let's see how he fires out of his stance. That's the number one thing that I want to take note of. See him in this three-point stance. Watch how quickly he gets out of it. All right, now he's immediately ready. He's already chopping his feet, which is really important. We've highlighted this before when we've done these Mbow breakdowns. He's got really good feet, chopping them and getting ready and setting up for number 13 here, who's going to go ahead with this outside rush. And because his feet are ready, his base is wide, and he's chopping, he's able to just engage. See, he's the first one to engage, as we mentioned earlier. Watch as he quickly, if you see that left arm, that left hand is now on the inside chest of the pass rusher. And then he's going to take this right arm and just guide him. He's going to use this to push him away from the pocket. So really good job here, pushing number 13 past the pocket. And then he's actually going to get kind of wrestled down to the ground there. 13 tries to counter with the spin move, but he's going to end up falling to the ground. So a good rep here from Marcus Mbow. Really stonewalls this pass rusher that tries to get around his edge, but he says, no, thank you. So nice rep there for Mbow in pass protection. Next play, I'm going to call this one more of a neutral, not really positive or negative, but it's not exactly the best rep here for Marcus Mbow. Let's take a look at it. So as we've mentioned, the edge rusher keeps going to the outside, right? Like we saw in that last clip. And so Marcus Mbow has been preparing to take away the outside, but on this one, he's just going to be a little bit open as he tries to kick slide out there. The kick slide's great. You know, he's created himself into a good position, but now, as you can see, he's kind of turning his hips, getting ready for the outside rush. And number 13, he's recognizing that, and he's going to go right through him on this power bull rush instead. And Marcus Mbow a little late to get his hands up here. So he's got both hands now from the defender right on his chest. Defender is in control, but Marcus Mbow does a really good job anchoring here and making sure that he doesn't get completely thrown into the face of Russell Wilson. Watch right here as he anchors. He doesn't leave his feet, which is really important. Watch 1 foot down, 1 foot down, 1 foot down, 1 foot down. How many times have we watched, let's just say, for example, Evan Neal get into a situation like this where he's bull rushed and both of his feet come up off the air and he tries to kind of hop and anchor, and then he of course gets thrown to the ground because he's off balance and he's in the middle of the air. That's the opposite of how you want to do it, but how Marcus Mbow did it here. Again, late hands, not the best rep in that regard, but the anchor is really good. So a positive and a negative, we'll call it a net neutral, but a pretty solid recovery on that rep from Marcus Mbow in pass pro. All right, this next play, I want to highlight something to compare and contrast. You all know the James Hudson play that he got flagged for, where he basically just clubbed the guy in the back of the head, punched him, got flagged for the unnecessary roughness, right? You're going to see Marcus Mbow successfully do what James Hudson attempted to do on that play, which is allow the rusher to run right by you and then stuff him to the ground with a big hit on the shoulder. Now, James Hudson smacked the guy in the head, which you can't do, but Marcus Mbow is going to do it properly here. So what you guys are going to see, not James Hudson. Marcus Mbow is the only one in a 2-point stance. Everybody else with their hand in the dirt in the 3-point stance, showing a run. And the Giants are going to run here. But with Marcus Mbow in this 2-point stance, it's going to create the illusion that, hey, this might be a pass, and he's going to drop it into his set and allow the edge rusher to go past him in an effort to make it seem like the rusher is going to get to the quarterback. So it's kind of like just a bluff in a way. And so watch as this happens. He jumps out like he's going into pass protection on that kick slide, but then he steps up, lets the rusher go past him. And then as you see here, he winds up and hoo-yah, tries to hit him and knock him off balance. And he does a good job to just push him that way. And then, of course, he tries to wall him and anchor him. But again, just showing you, James Hudson, don't know what he was thinking, don't know why he did what he did, but here's Marcus Mbow successfully allowing the rusher to rush past him and then pushing him off the line so that he's not able to get involved on this run play. It doesn't go anywhere to no fault of Mbow. This run play is designed for the other side of the line of scrimmage, and honestly, the safety just jumps in this gap and makes a great play. But Marcus Mbow did a good job here to get this edge rusher 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage on a run play. So a net positive for Marcus Mbow. And again, just trying to compare and contrast what he did versus how James Hudson messed that up and why the Giants are going to feel more comfortable. This is one of many reasons, more comfortable feeling with Marcus Mbow as their starting left tackle going forward. This next play I want to highlight, not so much as a positive for Marcus Mbow, but there's something else very interesting that takes place on this play, and I just want to break it down for fun. As you're going to see right here in the game, that is not Russell Wilson. That is Jackson Dart. This is going to be that long run up the middle down to the 1 yard line from Cam Skattebo. And the Giants' play design here is honestly quite beautiful. But what you're going to notice here, watch number 57 and how he gets taken out of this play. This is actually going to be Marcus Mbow's blocking assignment. He's going to try and get to the second level here and wall off number 57. Doesn't even have to, because number 57, oh my God, Jackson Dart is in the game. I better not let him run free. He's going to be taken completely out of the play just watching Jackson Dart. So let's roll this through and take a look at this. So as you see, the Giants have a very complex blocking system here. They're going to pull the right guard and the right tackle across the line of scrimmage here as lead blockers for Cam Skattebo right up the gut. But watch number 57, eyes on Jackson Dart. He thinks that Jackson Dart keeps this. He immediately darts, pun intended, over here to try and take away this rushing lane for Jackson Dart. And watch as this thing just opens up like the Red Sea. Watch how it parts for Cam Skattebo. So a lot of fans, when we were watching this, said, oh man, the offensive line did a great job on that play. But really, this was set up because of Jackson Dart being in the game. This is a very complex blocking system for sure, but a very clever call from Mike Kafka and Brian Dable using Jackson Dart as a decoy. And this is the effect that you're going to get. So we'll roll it all the way through now. As you'll see, Marcus Mbow is going to get to that second level, have no one to block because number 57 took himself out of the play, worrying about where Jackson Dart was going. Now, he does end up making a tackle at the end, or at least an assisted tackle. But again, if you watch 57, he completely takes himself out of this play just because of the presence of Jackson Dart. And then Skattebo is just going to get skinny through that hole and run up the middle and rumble and stumble his way down to the 1 yard line. So pretty cool stuff there. Really exciting to see. Just an added element to the Giants offense that Jackson Dart is bringing. And we're going to end this episode with this last play here. Another positive. And what I'm going to say, this is what can happen when a quarterback has time in the pocket. I'm just going to let it play through. You watch Marcus Mbow here at the left tackle spot and then watch what unfolds. An incredibly great job from him on the pass protection and the touchdown and the dying embers of the game deep to Malik Neighbors. Secondly, what a freaking bomb from Russell Wilson. This thing traveled over 60 yards in the air. If you guys didn't see my Russell Wilson film breakdown, make sure to go check that out on the channel. I broke down this play in length and demonstrated how Russell Wilson basically did this play on his own, of course, with the help of the offensive line, but the coverage read wasn't there. He just made an incredible throw. But what you're going to see here again, Marcus Mbow does a tremendous job. Watch his feet throughout this play and watch the depth that he gains on this kick slide, how quickly he gets out of his stance, of course. He's just got really good and quick feet. Look, he's gained so much depth already, and now he engages in that chest of the defensive lineman, as we mentioned. It's actually a really good battle here. Defensive lineman has his chest. Offensive lineman has his chest as well. But watch Marcus Mbow as he's going to gain some leverage here. Look at the hold that he has on that chest to pull. He pulls the defender downward to regain that leverage. Like I said, they both have a control of each other's chest, but it's not really control for the defender. Bo's going to pull him down and then use that right arm to push over the top of him, knock him off balance, and gain that control, and then bury him in the dirt. You see that mean streak there at the end of the play, laying down on top of him, saying, "Who's your daddy?" Marcus Mbow is your daddy. Let's go. Russell Wilson dropping an absolute moonball bomb, and that's a touchdown, and it really should have been a game-winning touchdown, but the Giants defense absolutely choked. And if you guys want to see me break down the Giants defense and that choke by Shane Bowen, let me know down below in the comment section, but also drop your thoughts on Marcus Mbow and this film breakdown below. Maybe you saw something differently. Maybe you really liked what you saw. Maybe you didn't love what you saw. I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section regardless. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you're new, ring the bell so you don't miss an episode, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one, and let's go New York Football Giants. Let's beat those Chiefs, baby.